Good morning everyone, Alessandro the Crypto here and welcome to this Bitcoin price analysis. We're gonna have a look into Bitcoin that is falling since we left this parabolic run-up basically here in the 4-hour time frame. We're gonna have a look into that and of course also into the traditional markets that are about to start to trade in a few hours, guys. So we're gonna have a look into that because a new week has started, so also new opportunities. So make sure to be subscribed on this channel. Check out all links in the video description, especially to all exchanges that I'm also using, like Bybit, where you can also get a free debit card, and of course also hyper-swap.io. That's my website where you can convert all the cryptos that you want. You can get access to all links and also different pre-sales, airdrops, hardware wallets, everything with discount codes, of course, directly here on my website. And also remember that if you're signing up to those exchanges like Maxi Global and so on, you can get access basically to the best deposit and sign up bonuses. So let's start here straight in the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. Of course, remember, everything is no financial advice. Trading in the crypto space is high risk, guys. You can lose everything. I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research. But of course, I'm sharing always with you my own analysis and own price predictions. So for Bitcoin right now, we're still in this downtrend, guys. I told you also during the weekend that we're gonna have a new CME gap basically created here up to $73,600 because over the weekend we have seen this dump. So on the CME chart, of course, we have now this big trading gap, and normally they're getting filled sooner than later. So it is of course possible that at some point we will come back up here to close this gap. But if we're gonna immediately go up and fill it, I doubt it actually a bit, because we have also, of course, CME gaps below of us. So one down here to 69K and one here to $67,000. Keep that in mind. And also if we have a look into the indicators, you can see that now everything is shifted to the downside. The good thing is only really that in the 3 and 4 hour time frame, we are now entering into extreme oversold condition. So a bounce at some point is possible. But overall, I think that we are now most likely coming back down to test this important support level that we have down here at around $64,000. Remember, we have covered that also yesterday with the liquidation heat map. I'm gonna show you that again later on. But at the moment, I think that we are definitely on the way to the downside, but we're gonna have also some bounces here on the way to the downside. So we will not go in a straight line down. We're gonna have also some bounces to retest the immediate short-term resistances. For example, here $72,000 before we had lower. But in the next coming days and weeks, I think that here we're gonna see most likely again 64K incoming before eventually we start that big breakout. Because for now we got rejected exactly here at the weekly resistance at $74,000. Exactly right there. I thought that maybe we could even see here a quick wick to the upside and then come back down, but we didn't even see that. We got immediately rejected here on the weekly time frame. So here in the 4-hour time frame, it looks at the moment bearish. 6-hour time frame also starting to cross bearish right now. So the momentum is definitely shifted to the downside here. We can easily come down to 69K, and if this support is breaking, then of course we're gonna go straight down to $64,000 here as well. On the 12-hour time frame, also here all indicators are shifting bearish right now. So this move is starting basically right now. Also here, we have, of course, some support at some levels, but overall, I think that 64K can be tested here in the next coming days and weeks. The daily time frame also is starting to have sell signals right now. We don't have yet the bearish cross here on my confirmation indicator yet, but this can happen basically, this bearish cross, as long as Bitcoin basically is having daily closes below 73K and is not pushing higher. On the 3-day time frame, we have a bit mixed feelings here. We are just going sideways. On the 5-day, in theory, we are still on the way to the upside. So on the 5-day time frame, in theory, we're still looking good. And of course, on the weekly time frame that we just opened up right now, we are looking bullish. And that's why I think that short term, yes, we are looking bearish at the moment. But long term, I think for the next coming weeks and months, probably we will slowly head higher. I still expect that based on the weekly time frame that we have seen the low most likely for this bear market. It is still possible that we could even fall again down below 60K. Technically, that's still possible, but I don't think that we're gonna go much lower than that. And here on the weekly time frame, you can see that we got buy signals confirmed. We got also my confirmation bullish cross yet. The stochastic RSI shifted to the upside, and even more important, you can see that right now we are having weekly closes above the 9 weekly moving average, and that is currently at $68,500. So even if this week we are crashing down, we should see the close above the 9 weekly moving average. Then I think that we are ready to break through here and go to massive higher levels here for Bitcoin, but only as long as we keep the 9 weekly moving average as our support at $68,500. So I expect that this week or next week, eventually we can go below the 9 weekly moving average, but the close should be above it and not below it. On the CME chart here also same thing. Here we had also the last week above the 9 weekly moving average, but of course it is possible that now with this week or next week we're gonna test the 9 weekly moving average to see if it's really holding as a support or not. And if yes, I think that here also we're gonna go at least to the median line of the Keltner channels at 77k, probably also higher to test, for example, here the top side of the Keltner channel, so the 50 weekly moving average at around $97,000. And if we break that one, then of course I think blue skies ahead. Then I think we're gonna go straight to new all-time highs, 130k, 140k, and so on. New all-time highs doesn't mean new bull market. It just means that we could see here a really big move to the upside, even up to 130k or 140k. That would be still in the cards, guys, even if we are in a bear market. But of course we have also big rallies in a bear market as well, and it is also possible that we're gonna see this big move to the upside and later on a corrective phase, maybe down to 100k or something like that, and with the next Bitcoin halving somewhere in 2028, that then we're gonna start that big bull run that will take us to much higher levels. Because at the end, if we go now to 130k or 140k, it's still not far away from the previous all-time high here at $126,000. But in order to go to completely new levels, like we have seen from 10k to 60k and from 60k to 126k, we need to, of course, to go to completely new levels, and therefore we need the Bitcoin halving, and this will happen after 2028. Then I think maybe Bitcoin has the chance eventually to go to 200k, 500k, a million, who knows that. Of course, everything, no financial advice, guys, just my own opinions and my own analysis. Bitcoin for me is the best asset in the world. It should be priceless, but of course, as long as not many people are invested and also not many people realize how much worthy that actually Bitcoin is, we're gonna have these big volatile moves on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is still trading below a million. And that's why I think as long as Bitcoin is below a million, it's a great buy opportunity. Doesn't matter at what price that we are, as long as we are below a million. But of course, no financial advice, guys, just my own opinions. So in the 4-hour time frame, as I told you guys, 3 and 4 hour time frame, bearish, weekly, looking bullish. And for the 2-week time frame, guys, here also we just started a new candle. Also here, as I told you, on the indicators, we are looking good. We had the first buy signal, but in the past we have seen that the big move to the upside started only once we had also the bullish confirmation here on my indicators, which is not yet flashing. So we still have to wait for that. I think latest then we're gonna have the beginning of a massive rally, maybe even to new all-time highs. And until then, we just have to be patient. And maybe something else I wanted to show you. Yeah, the liquidation heat map. Here, I told you that we had a lot of liquidity to be taken here at $173,500. This liquidity has been taken. We even went higher than that. And afterwards, we have seen only a decline. And this is exactly what I was telling you guys. Once this liquidity is taken here, this is where the most shorts would have been liquidated in the immediate short term. This happened. We took that liquidity, they got all liquidated. This is where the most money can be taken. And right now, you can see that we are on the way to the downside. And on the way to the downside, the next major liquidation area is all the way down here between $65,000 and $64,000. And that's why I think with the next move, with the next bigger move, we're going to see Bitcoin again trading at around those levels here to grab this liquidity, to liquidate all those longs that got in here basically right at the top. And afterwards, then of course things can change, because at 64k we have a lot of support there. There are a lot of signs that at 64k we could get a big bounce. And I guess that also if we go again down to $64,000, that a lot of people would scream again that Bitcoin now is gonna crash down maybe to 30k, 40k, 50k. I mean, it could be possible short term, but even if that would be the case, I think that would be a great buy opportunity and probably the absolute bottom before we get that big rally. But I don't think that we're gonna go much lower than $64,000. We have so much support there. We have the bottom side of the Keltner channels there on the daily. We have this support trend line. We have this support trend line, and even this one over here that came from the previous lows here. So we have a lot of support there. And that's why I think that it will hold. If not, if we see, for example, 4-hour, daily, and of course even worse, weekly closes below 64K, then yes, then I think we're gonna definitely go at least to $57,000 and probably even lower than that. But at the moment, I think that the weekly and 2-week time frame are looking so good, bullish, so good, that we should be ready for a massive move to the upside. On the monthly time frame, still nothing new happened here. Everything is still shifted to the downside, of course. On the monthly, we are still approaching here the 50 monthly moving average at 58K. That's why I think that buying Bitcoin at those regions down here is a great buy opportunity. Of course, no financial advice, guys, just my own opinions. If we would go lower, for example, to the 100 monthly moving average here at $38,000, that would be, of course, a potential scenario that could be happen. But we never came down there. We never came to the 100 moving average on the monthly time frame. We never have seen Bitcoin going down there. So it could be the first time, but I would definitely not bet the farm on that. That's why I'm just looking at my indicators, guys, and they are bullish on the weekly and 2-week time frame. But of course, the rally has not started yet. We still have to wait for confirmation. And today, probably also with today's opening on the stock market, we will see much more downside, probably also for Bitcoin, because also here you can see on the pre-market data, we have MicroStrategy, for example, also opening up in red. We also have trading gaps below us, Amazon as well, Intel as well, Meta, Google, also red, Microsoft, Nvidia, also in red, Tesla, red. Everything will most likely open up in red. And with the next move, we probably are going down also to close all the trading gaps below us. And even if we see another breather or something like that to the upside, I just think that it will be short-lived, because based on the indicators and the CME gaps and the trading gaps also here for Bitcoin, I just think that most likely we will see first again lower levels for Bitcoin before we had higher. And as I told you guys, 64K, a lot of support. If we lose that, 57K would be the next major target for a major support level. Because on the weekly time frame, you can see that Bitcoin is still trading in this trading range. We never had a weekly close above resistance or below support. So we're still perfectly fine with this channel here. Of course, we can go to much lower levels, but I think based on the indicators that here we're forming a nice rounding bottom before we're gonna break out here to the upside. So with that said, guys, I salute you for now. Of course, the altcoins will be moving according to Bitcoin most likely. We have sometimes some altcoins doing their own thing. For example, also Tron still extremely bullish in my opinion, one of my most favorite altcoins out there, hyperliquid and so on. And remember, if you want to get a hardware wallet, Ledger, Elipal, if you want to get trading tools that I'm using, or also invest into new cryptos like HyperSui, which is going to be the next hyperliquid but on Sui, then check out the links in the video description. All of them are here. So check them out, guys. And of course, also tune in regularly here on hyper-swap.io. That's my website where you can get the latest YouTube videos, exchanges that I'm using, with sign-up bonuses, pre-sale, airdrops, access, hardware wallets, and so on, mining tools, trading tools, and so on. With all of them, you get the maximum sign-up bonuses and so on, so take advantage of that. So let's see what today brings, guys. I think we're gonna see more downside, and even if we see a breather or something like that, it's just a reaction rally before we probably go lower. I still think that at 64K we have a lot of support. I'm definitely keeping up my shorts and my cash ready to buy at 64K. With the thing that eventually we could even drop lower than that. But I think 64K most likely will be the next major target to watch out now. So stay tuned, guys, be subscribed, and we're gonna see us all in the next one. Bye for now.